So you require a front deck ride-on, but you also want to collect the grass? Well, what's the options? Well, there's pretty much only one, and that's the Husqvarna RC320. This is the four-wheel drive version. They also do the two-wheel drive version, which is the 318. But today we're going to show you through this machine, show you all the features and benefits. We're going to cut some grass down here in our demo garden and see how we get on. We're Hayes Machinery. This is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Let's crack on with it. So Husqvarna brought out this mower about 3 years ago. They haven't really changed much yet, so they must be fairly happy with it. Yes, it's quite a high maintenance machine, but why is it different compared to other mowers on the market? So we're all used to the front deck operation with a deck at the front, engine at the rear, but for years there's never been a collection option to be able to collect the grass with the front deck. Well, this is probably the best option that's ever come available on the domestic market. How is it different? Well, you've got the deck at the front, and then you've got an auger system which comes up through the centre of the mower. So a skewer, a helix, however many other words you can think of about those, and that skewers the grass up through the tube and into the grass box. In the process of it doing that, what it does is compress the grass as it comes into the grass collector. This grass collector is 300 litres, and on our demo garden down here, which is about half an acre, we would normally get probably 10-12 grass boxes on a standard ride-on. With this one, we'd only get 6, so it pretty much brings your collection down by half. The other nice thing is it doesn't matter if the grass is damp or whether it's a little bit longer. If you go a little bit slower, you give the machine time to do its work, it will still pick up the grass even when it's damp. So it would be one of the best domestic collectors on the market. Let's open it up, have a look around it, and then we'll get on to cutting some grass. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at that auger. So we push the seat forward, you can see the auger tube coming up through the centre of the machine. Now if we turn the machine on, we can tip up the box on the back, which is all electric tipping. It's got a hydraulic actuator there on the other side of the machine to tip the box up. But here is what we're looking at, is the auger system. As you'll see, that tube comes up from the bottom of the deck down there and twirls the grass all the way up through, and here you can just see the auger at the top, which is, yeah, like I said, a helix coming up through. And that pushes the grass up through the hole here into the grass box while compressing it at the same time. Very clever bit of engineering. It works extremely well, and I've always been very impressed. So this mower comes with the Briggs & Stratton Endurance Series engine, which pumps out 22 horsepower, coming out 656 cc. So there's oodles of power here for this machine. But you've got to remember the deck is at the front, so with the belt series going up through the machine, you'll lose a little bit of power. So compared to other 22 horsepower mowers on the market where the deck's a lot closer to the engine, you'll find you'll get a lot higher blade speed. So with any front deck machine where the engine's at the back and the deck's at the front, you'll always lose a little power due to the distance that they are apart. So as I said, it's a 300 litre collector on here, and it's very easy for maintenance and washing it all out because you can lift up the back here, and it's got a magnet on the top to be able to clip it in out of the way, so then you can get into the collector and wash it all out nicely. This is actually our demonstrator machine, so it's been out on a few demos already, so there's a little bit of grass on it around the machine, but as you can see, they do clean up really nice when required. As with most Husqvarna front deck machines, the deck has a service position, so you can pull the deck out and flip it up around. So it's very easy to do. It's no different than this machine that is the others. So let's crack on with that. So first of all, you've got a special key on your key ring. There's a little plastic tab, so you can pop that in the front there, push down, and then you can lift off the front cover nice and easily. You'll see underneath the front cover, there is instructions of how to do this. So as soon as you pop that one off, you can then easily see what you've got to do. So before you pull the deck up around and alter anything on the front, there's a couple of things you've got to do from the driver position. The first one is to lower your deck height, not right down to 1, but down to the service position, so that's right down to the bottom. And on the other side, this lever here is what pulls the auger up out of the way. So the auger is obviously connected to the deck. By pushing this lever down, you're unlocking the auger away from the deck. The next step is to disconnect the deck. So what we want to do is pull that one out there, which then takes the tension off of the belt. So you can then pop the belt off of the pulleys, and you want to take it off of all 3 pulleys all the way around. And then you've got a belt keeper here on the side, which you can clip your belt up into while your machine is up out of the way. Otherwise, if you don't pop it in there, you'll end up, when you pull your deck up round, the belt will disappear in behind. You then got your height adjuster, which that pops out of there like so, and you've got a little keeper up in underneath, which keeps the pin up out of the way, and now your deck's completely disconnected from the machine, bar actually on the brackets itself. And then you can just pull it out through, and you push it up round. As we go now. So all you do is hold on to the handle on the front, and you can pull that one up around, making sure that the bar clips in on the back like so, and your deck's in the service position. So now the deck is in the service position, it gives you a really good insight to what's underneath. One, for maintenance purposes, so for washing, cleaning, taking the blades off and sharpening. It makes it a lot easier than it does trying to get in underneath the centre deck machine. As you can see, it's got 3 blades on this machine. So the 2 outside ones are counter-rotating. The idea of that is so it's pushing the grass up into the centre of the machine for the auger to then carry it into the grass box. The little one at the front is just simply there to stop you getting a line up through the middle of your lawn. As you see with sub-mowers, it's a little bit more obvious than others where the line is. Some decks offset so that you don't get a line up through the middle, and then some are timed. This one here has just got the little one at the front, so it's not a timed deck on the front of this machine. It's just a standard double A section belt, and then the blades are counter-rotating to be able to drive that grass up through as you need it. So as with any ride-on lawnmower, the cleaner the deck is underneath, the better it will work. The manufacturers have made these decks to the exact shape they need to be to work at their peak performance. So when underneath the blades are completely packed in with grass, they're obviously not going to work as well as if they are clean. Many of our customers ring us up sometimes sort of 6-8 weeks after saying, oh, the mower's not collecting as well as it was when it was new. Simply is because they haven't cleaned underneath the deck. With the Husqvarna front deck machines, being able to pick the deck up and push it up round to be able to clean it makes it a lot easier to be able to do so. Right, so let's get it back down into its working position and go from there. So the one very important thing when you put the deck back down is obviously where the belt is and where the belt's going. It's very easy on these mowers to put the belt through the wrong part of the mower so that when you are going to go and cut, it's going over something it shouldn't be. From that, you'll get belt wear very quickly. So double, triple, quadruple check that that belt is in the right position and that when it's back in its position, it's not rubbing on something it shouldn't be. Let's pop it back in. So you see the smaller silver pulley at the back, which is the idler pulley. And then you've got your V pulley over here, which is the black one. So it goes around that and then onto your front pulley. You then pull a little bit of tension on the tension spring, just to make sure it all clips in place. If you've got a lot of resistance on that spring, it normally means your belt's in the wrong place. Or if your belt's baggy, as again, it's not right, but underneath the cover, it will show you exactly which way that belt's got to be. So you then pull that up into the position, you've got tension on the spring, and you've got tension on your belt. And then visually look back through the machine to make sure it's not catching on anything it shouldn't be. You even lower the deck down to make sure you've got a better view up through there, to make sure it's not catching on anything on a high or a low position, and make sure it's touching all the pulleys it should and nothing it shouldn't. So this little height adjuster here, it's got a little keeper up in underneath to protect it while you put the deck up around. Pop that out of the keeper and it needs to slot into that hole. You'll find with all the Husqvarna front decks that they don't quite go in the hole when you put the deck back down, so if you just push down on the front bar, you'll see it pop in. So I'll pop that out again, it'll sit there. All you do is push down on the bar here and it'll pop in nicely. Then you pop your front cover back in again, in under there and under, and then clip that on the front. That's your deck back on the front, and we've got to make sure those 2 levers are right before we go any further. So this lever here needs to be pulled up. That lowers your auger back into your deck. And then again, you visually want to look in underneath to make sure that has gone back into its place. So as you pull that lever up, you'll see the auger move back down into position. Let's do it one more time. So that's pushing it, locking it out of the way to be able to lift the deck up. And as you pull that lever up to put it back in position, it will drop down into place. So over to this side, you pull your height adjustment lever right back up to the top, and now you're ready to start mowing again. So this being the 320 version of this machine, like I said, they also do the 318. The 320 is 4-wheel drive. So you've got drive on the rear wheels and you've got drive on the front wheels. The 2-wheel drive version is only driven by the rear wheels. It's all hydrostatically driven, so you've just got forwards and reverse on the pedals. So if you've got a flat garden like ours, a 2-wheel drive version would be absolutely fine. But if you've got any slight incline, I'd definitely recommend the 4-wheel drive version. Because the way the machine's set up with a lot of weight at the front of the machine, the 2-wheel drive version will struggle on any kind of slope. So if you've got a flat garden, absolutely fine for a 2-wheel drive. But if you've got a slight incline, definitely go for the 4-wheel drive 320 like this one here. So the other big difference between the 318 and the 320 front deck collectors is not only that the 318 is two-wheel drive and this one here, the 320 is four-wheel drive, but the 320 also comes with power-assisted steering. You'll see in the video that it's very, very easy to steer. You can literally do it with one finger. So it makes mowing the lawn so much of a pleasure. So the fuel tank is extremely easily accessible on the side. It's a nice big cap on there to be able to get either a big funnel in there or, you know, to be able to get your petrol in without it going everywhere. Some ride-ons got little tiny fuel caps on and they're a bit painful. This is really, really nice. It's also got the level indicator. It's full at the moment, so you can't really see a level on it, but that tells you where your petrol level is, which is really, really handy. But if you do get into the instance where you run out of fuel while mowing, you can disengage the hydrostatic axles on this and push it if required. So they are based here. So you've got one here behind the front axle and you've got one here behind the back axle. Pull both of those out and you can now freewheel your machine once it gets going. There we go. With those in, you wouldn't be able to do that. So you can push them back in again and now your hydrostatic's locked, so it now only works on the pedals. So again, ideal that both axles can be disengaged. Some four-wheel drive ride-ons on the market, you can disengage the back axle, but you can't disengage the front. So although it's predominantly a collecting mower, and that's why most people want to buy it, because the normal front deck machines that Husqvarna supply are just mulching or rear discharging. The best thing about this one, not only does it collect, but at a push of a button, you can also turn it into mulcher. That button just turns the auger off, so it stops it augering, and then you've got back to a normal mulching deck that you're familiar with on other Husqvarna front deck machines. So it's enough of me waffling on, let's get on the machine and do some cutting. Down here in our demo garden, we've got lots of different grasses. Where we're stood at the moment is very thick with moss and thatch, so that's one test it will do. It's currently about 3-4 inches long, and it's not the nicest lawn to cut, but typical Devon English country garden lawn, which isn't lawn grass, it's field grass. And then we've got our area of lawn that we scarified and aerated about 3 or 4 weeks ago and done a video. If you haven't watched that video, please click up here because it's available. It's a nice little video to watch. But that area doesn't have the moss, doesn't have the thatch, and the grass is a lot thinner. So we're going to cut on both areas at 2 different heights. We've got, 3 or 4 inches here to cut down to about sort of 1.5 inches, and then the other area will cut down as well. So let's jump on the machine, start it up and crack on. So being that this has the Briggs & Stratton Endurance Series engine on it, it doesn't actually have a choke, so it's fully built in, so it's just what Husqvarna call a turnkey start. So all you have to do, make sure you've got your foot on the brake and you're sat on the seat and your deck is in the up position. All you have to do is turn the key and it starts up and switches off. Easy as that. So what have we got to do first? Obviously assess your lawn. You don't want to cut too low. If your grass is longer, you want your deck up as high as it will go and you want to be going a lot slower. A lot of people think they can go into 8 inches of grass and put it on the lowest setting and keep going through the grass and it's going to do everything it wants it to do. Unfortunately, that's not the case with any mower. You need to assess what grass you've got and adjust your settings and your speed accordingly. Because if you don't, you're just going to burn through belts in a heartbeat. And then you'll be ringing up your dealer saying, oh, my belt's burnt through already. I mean, none of us want that. So always just take it steady, assess the situation. If it's long, take it down in sections and give your machine a chance to do the job it's got to do. And then when you engage your deck, pull it up and just do it slowly. And there we go, it's all going round. If you do it too fast, you'll hear a thud and you're putting more stress on that belt than is required. So nice and slowly. You'll see that I'll float as well. So as your deck goes up and down with the grass, that lever will go up and down with the deck as well. Full revs, on the hydrostatic, no gears, and off you go. It's always good to bear in mind that these are lawnmowers and are designed for cutting lawns up to 12 centimetres or 5 inches of grass on the higher setting. But the odd longer grass area or weed area in the corners will be absolutely fine, but they are not suitable for cutting paddocks or rough areas. of the rear wheel steer and combined power steering, it makes turning an absolute breeze. As with all Husqvarna front deck machines, they are the perfect tool for cutting around trees and shrubs, and it is no different with this one. And it only has a 50cm uncut circle on full lock. As with all mowers on the market, always pick up sticks, dog toys and anything else before mowing over them, as they are only designed to cut grass. These machines are available with two different size cutting decks. This one has the wider 112cm or 44 inch, but also available is the 103cm or 40 inch deck. The wider deck is ideal if you have beds and borders, as it allows you to cut further over the edge without having your wheels falling in. Whereas for narrower access, the 103 deck is the same width as the machine itself. So you know if the deck fits through, so will your mower. When your grass box is full, the alarm will sound just like this. When this happens, stop cutting straight away. Lift your deck up to the transport position and trundle off to tip your grass. Once reversed up to your grass heap, you can then tip the box. As you can see, a lot of grass fits in these collectors. Once tipped up, pull forward nice and straight to reduce the chance of damaging anything. And then you can lower your box back down and start mowing again. So I think you can agree that's a pretty awesome collecting ride-on mower. It's one of our favourites. With the auger system going up through the middle, collecting that grass, it works extremely well. Yes, it's quite a high maintenance machine, so it's going to be one that needs to be looked after. As with any machine which does more than just one job, you're going to expect high maintenance. With a deck at the front and the engine at the rear, with the augered system and the tipping collector, there's lots going on with it. But if you're looking for a machine which is very versatile, that can go underneath trees, around trees, under bushes, able to collect, much easier, you can do everything from the operator seat without having to get off, then this is a machine to definitely consider. We love the Husqvarna front deck collecting machines. We hope you do. If you've enjoyed this video, please watch the others that we've got here on YouTube. Please click that subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and please check out our website, hayesmachinery.co.uk, where we've got these machines for sale. So you can click on there and buy one for yourself. If you've got any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact us, hayesmachinery.co.uk. Thank you for watching.